Look at this landscape: mud, craters, the shattered remnants of trees. This isn't just a painting. For millions of young men in 1917, this was their entire world. Today, we are going to look at a poem that shattered the romantic illusions of war. As Wilfred Owen himself said, "My subject is war, and the pity of war. The poetry is in the pity." We are going to look closely at his masterpiece, Dulce et Decorum Est, and walk through the mud alongside him. To understand this poem, you have to understand why Owen wrote it. Imagine lying in a war hospital, recovering from the sheer mental trauma of shell shock. That's where Owen was in 1917. Back home, poets and politicians were writing jingoistic, patriotic verses about how glorious and heroic it was to fight. Owen called those verses the old lie. He wrote this piece, what he called a gas poem, in a letter to his mother, as a direct counterattack. He wanted to force people to see the physical reality of war. He tracks the destruction of a human being from the ground up, from the ruined feet to the burning lungs to the shattered nerves. Let's look at how he opens the scene. Listen to these words. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge. Where are the proud, upright, marching soldiers? They are gone. Owen uses these shocking, dehumanizing similes, comparing young men in their prime to old beggars and hags. War hasn't made them heroes. It has broken them, aged them prematurely, and stripped away their youth as they drag themselves through the mud. The exhaustion is absolute. Men marched asleep, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of tired, outstripped 5-9s that dropped behind. Look at that phrase, bloodshot. Their boots are gone, replaced by the blood on their own feet. It links the very act of walking directly to death. It's a state of total sensory deprivation. They are blind, lame, drunk with exhaustion, deaf even to the artillery shells dropping softly behind them. They are sleepwalking through hell. And then the quiet is shattered. Gas! Gas! Quick, boys! An ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. The rhythm changes instantly. It's a staccato of pure panic. The sudden capital letters visually scream at you. But look at that phrase, an ecstasy of fumbling. Why ecstasy? It comes from the Greek word meaning to stand outside oneself. This isn't joy. This is that high adrenaline, out-of-body terror of pure survival mode. The energy here is grotesque. It's the frantic scramble for life. They get their masks on, but one man doesn't make it. Owen watches him through the glass of his own mask. Dim, through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. Owen transforms the battlefield into a suffocating seascape. The poison gas becomes a green sea. The man isn't just dying on a battlefield. He is drowning in the open air, fighting for breaths that are killing him. It's deeply claustrophobic. But the horror of war doesn't end when the battle stops. Notice the shift in time here. We move from the past tense to the present. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. This isn't a memory. It is a recurring nightmare that is happening now. This is survivor's guilt in its purest form. The dying man plunges at Owen, accusing him of his helplessness. The trauma is inescapable. Now, Owen turns his sights on us, the reader, the politicians, the people back home cheering for war. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face. He forces us to bear witness, if you could see this. Notice the word flung. There is no ceremony here, no folded flags. The living are simply too exhausted to mourn. The dead are treated like refuse. Finally, he wants us to hear the reality of a glorious death. Gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud. Because to Owen, war is not a noble pursuit. It is a vile, incurable disease that rots humanity from the inside out. And that is the terrifying truth behind the old lie. To you, my students, the challenge is this. Don't just learn the history of the lie. Be the generation that lives the truth. Because the world will only be as one when we decide that no lie is worth a single life. Imagine that, and then go out and make it real.